What's going on? What's going on? We back. Damn, it's cloudy as hell out here. Accidents happening. I'm getting stuck in traffic. It's ugly out here. But anyway, let's get into some boxing. Been hearing a lot of clamor in the last couple of days about how Terrence Crawford and his team have, quote, been seeing, what they would have to do in order to get into PBC or to start fighting on PBC. And it's been getting a lot of people all kind of hyped up, like, oh, he's finally woken up, he's finally awake, he's finally starting to realize the moves that he has to make in order to get the fights that he wants, and on and on and on. And what I have to say about that is pump the brakes, man. I always say, don't let the love of boxing blind you to reality. Don't let it blind you to reality. And the reality of the situation is, number one, we haven't heard anything from Crawford. That's number one, period. Okay? Number two, everything that Crawford has said, has spoken, it's pretty much shown that he's okay, cool with the alignment that he's in right now. From him saying he wants this fighter, he wants that fighter, he wants this fighter, he wants that fighter, then those fighters finally starting to put their hands up, and then not only Top Rank making no kind of effort to actually negotiate with these fighters, but then Terrence Crawford himself kind of just giving reasons why he shouldn't fight him, like, oh, why should I fight Sean Porter? Oh, he's just, Earl Spence's leftovers. You know what I mean? Making, Keith Thurman, saying, Keith Thurman, oh, he loses his belt, now he wants to fight me. Oh, I'm good with that. Just things of that nature, where even Womack coming on and saying, why the hell are we going to fight, Keith Thurman for? There's no point in fighting Keith Thurman. Just these type of things. Ugazus came out, his team came out and said, yeah, they had no offers ever given to them to fight at Terrence Crawford. Nothing was ever given to him. None. So, and he seems to be cool with it, And then he's been uplifting and praising the people that he has fought, and he's saying that they're on the same levels as these other guys, and people need to give him his respect, and he just keeps going on and on and on. But he doesn't say, he's not sitting here upset or screaming about not being able to get particular fighters. He's not doing that, So even when Sean Porter had contacted him, Sean Porter was like, yo, what's up? What about, what do you think about us, maybe setting up a fight? And he said, no, he can't. He's not doing that right now, because right now he has other plans. He has other things that are being, set up for him. This is what Terrence Crawford told Sean Porter. These aren't the words of someone who, quote, wants to fight these guys. He's not acting like someone who wants to fight these PBC fighters. He's not acting like it. He's acting and talking like someone who's very content with the situation that he's in. You see somebody like a Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is disgruntled. And we know he's disgruntled. Number one, it was because of all the things that he was saying before all this happened. Even back with the whole IBF situation, when he was like, I never told them to give up my belt. I didn't know that was going to happen. And we were all kind of, I was kind of screaming, you know what, BS. You knew what the hell was happening. You knew what was going on. And actually turns out he didn't. He actually didn't. These people actually have control to the level where they're able to sign off on things for him. He gave him basically power of attorney when it comes to making decisions for him in boxing. He doesn't even have to okay anything. They're just allowed to just do things on his behalf. They could put him to a situation where he could lose his belts. They can negotiate a situation and just sign off on it. They don't even need a signature. They don't even need to discuss anything with him. He's yet to even see this contract of his with the Zone. He's yet to even see that contract the way that, Golden Boy has it with the Zone. He's yet to even see that. He has no idea what and I've been saying it for a long time now, that boy is getting paid, but he's getting effed too. He's getting effed millions of dollars. Millions. And he's got upset to the point where he wasn't even speaking to Oscar De La Hoya at all. Where they were just communicating with each other through attorneys. And then now we're in a lawsuit where he's trying to get the hell out of it. You know, the first one got, had to get amended. He had to make a couple adjustments. He made the adjustments and he refiled. That's somebody who's disgruntled. That's somebody who wants to get out of the deal that he's in. When you're upset with your situation, those are the type of things that you'll see somebody do. Those are the type of things you see somebody do. And he's doing it. And with Top Rank, sometimes a little bit different because they make you sign that paper saying you can't trash the company, you can't trash Top Rank, stuff like that. But there's little things that you can do. Or like someone like a Jesse Vargas who just sat back for a whole 2 years in order to get out of his contract. Or like a Mikey Garcia who did the same thing and then filed his paperwork and got out of his contract. Reality of the situation is Terrence Crawford is stuck. He not only had signed his long-term deal, I believe he actually also signed an extension from what we heard in the last year. And he not only signed that deal, but he signed an extension. Okay? He's under lock and key for years to come. Years to come. He's stuck. He's not going to be able to do anything except, fight the low-tier fighters that they're going to continue to give him. Where he's going to continue to try to, use the names of PBC fighters in potential fights to try to build up his own bouts and his own events, which is time to dissipate at this time because people are like, we don't believe you. At this point, especially because of the things that have come out of his mouth, people don't believe him. So this whole trying to go to PBC thing, I believe, number one, all it is, I believe, is a thing, to get people talking as it pertains to him. That's number one, because him mentioning fighters isn't even working anymore. People are trying to just brush it off because they don't believe him. That might not work anymore. But this is something that might. This is something that might get people gravitating towards him again, especially his fans that are starting to leave him, because his actual fans are starting to leave him. In his last bout where he fought, the peak of that night was when Teofimo Lopez fought. The co-main. That's when the peak of that particular day was. After he left, everything dropped. When that happens, that's not a good thing. That means a lot of those people were there to see that man fight, not you. The peak is always the main event. That's always the main event. Is when the peak, unless you're trying to, flow, through, like, let's say another event's happening, and you're trying to, capitalize on it and have your event coming right away where you have no undercards, nothing. It's just going straight to your bout. And then what happens is in the beginning, it's kind of high because, of that people that have come in, then it drops. Or even if there's other events in there, other fighters fighting before you. So you'll see that huge peak right in the first bout because people just kind of flowing from that previous event, whether it be a huge football game or whatever it is. And then obviously a lot of them leave. So then there's a huge drop. But with this particular event, the peak was when this man was fighting. Was when Teofimo Lopez was fighting. And then the viewership dropped by the time it got to Terrence Crawford. That's not a good thing. That's really not a good thing. But, we'll see what happens in the next couple of months. But as far as this whole news, this PBC trying to go to PBC, don't buy that BS, man. Don't get hyped up. Don't get hyped up and don't let that love, that emotion for the sport, that love, that feeling of what you want him to do, okay, what you would like him to do, overtake the realities of what's going on and what he's really doing. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.